Welcome to Chapter 3, Section 4, where we look at solving inequalities with variables on both sides. They're the same inequalities as you've done so far, except you'll have variables on both sides. This is just like Chapter 2, where we added on variables at both sides of the end. So let's look at what a sample problem looks like here. If we had 3x plus 8 is a less than or greater than or equal to x, how do we go about solving this? Well, first thing we would want to do is bring all the variables to the same side. So we would subtract x from both sides. If we had 3x minus 2x, that would give us 2x. And if we had x minus x, that would give us 0. It's very important that you write that 0 there as a placeholder. We still have the rest of the problem, which is 2x plus 8. And we're going to go through and subtract 8 from both sides. And now 0 minus 8 would give us negative 8. Again, because even though we're dealing with negatives, if we did not multiply or divide by a negative, we keep the same. Finally, we need to divide by 2. So take both sides and divide them by 2. And our final answer would be x is greater than or equal to negative 4. Go ahead and graph it on this on a number line. Make our number line here. And we'll do a solid dot because it's greater than or equal to at negative 4. And we're going to have arrow to the right since it's greater than to the right. So x is greater than or equal to negative 4. Working through and solving here on a little bit more challenging one, we had 6x minus 1 is a less than or equal to, and I'll just say 5x plus 4. How would we go about solving that? Well, first thing would be to, once again, combine like terms. So we have the x's on both sides. So we want to subtract 5x from both sides. And if we subtract 5x from both sides, those x's will cancel out. And 6x minus 5x, if you have 6 x's and you take away 5 x's, you're left with just an x. Minus 1 is less than or equal to 4. And then we can go through and add 1 to both sides. And those will cancel out. And we are left with x is less than or equal to 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. Going through and solving this, if you have, or put on a graph, that would be our answer there. Solid dot because it's less than or equal to, and remember less than to the left. So we have x would be less than 5. You want to make sure that you're always simplifying and following all the same steps that you would when you're solving a normal problem, which would be going through and simplifying, getting all the variables to the same sides, and working through all of the steps. Let's look at solving one with some parentheses in it. So if we have 5 parentheses 4 plus x close parentheses is less than or equal to 3 parentheses 2 plus x. We can go through and solve this. First thing we're going to do is look inside the parentheses. Remember your order of operations: parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So working with inside the parentheses, there's nothing we can do there. 4 plus x is just 4 plus x. Exponents, we don't see any, so our next step would be multiplication. So if we have 5 times 4 and 5 times x. 5 times 4 would be 20. 5 times x would be 5x. And that would be less than or equal to, over here, 3 times 2 and 3 times x. So that would be 6 plus 3x. We would want to start subtracting, so 3x from both sides. Five x minus 3x gives us 2x. And now we'll subtract 20 from both sides. So 20's cancel out. 6 minus 20 would give us negative 14. And we have a less than or equal to still. The sign stays the same unless we're multiplying or dividing by a negative. And we can go through and divide both sides by 2. Since we're dividing by positive 2, the sign doesn't change. And we have x is less than or equal to negative 7. I'm going to take the time here to insert a quiz question for you. So go ahead and answer the question on the board. Remember, do not use any spaces in your answer. And obviously it'll just be greater than or less than, not greater than or equal to, because you don't have those keys on your keyboard. So answer the following question. Great, I'm glad you got that question right. Let's do one more practice problem and then I'll get you on your guided practice. Let's look at one of the word problems. So if we want to find an inequality, and then we're looking at number 26 on page 165. So we have a rectangle. As I talked about yesterday, this would be a good problem for you, a rectangle with a length of 12 and a height of x plus 2. And then we have a triangle. And a triangle has a height of 10 and a base of x plus 16. And we want to find a value for x in which the area of the rectangle is greater than the area of the triangle. So the area of a rectangle would be length times width. Needs to be greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. Plugging in here, we'll have 1/2 x plus 16 times 10 is going to be less than, we're here, 12 times x plus 2. And so we can go through now and distribute. And get 12x plus 24 is greater than or equal to 1/2 x and 1/2 times 16 be 1/2 x plus 8. Now this whole thing is still times 10. So we still need to take this whole thing. This is a little tricky because this is all in parentheses. So we got to go in order. Now we're going to do distribution on this side. Get 1/2 x times 10 would give us 5x plus 80 is going to be greater than or equal to 12x plus 24. I'm going to go ahead and pause for a second while I get that 12x plus 24. So I have 12x plus 24 is greater than or equal to 5x plus 80. 5x plus 80. And continuing to solve here, we can subtract 5x from both sides. And get 7x plus 24 is greater than or equal to, those cancel out, 80. Now minus 24 from both sides. Those cancel out. and we're left with 7x greater than or equal to 56. Divide both sides by 7 and get x is greater than or equal to 8. So that means for all values where x is greater than or equal to 8, the area of the rectangle will be larger than the area of the triangle. Let's take a look at your guided practice now. Your guided practice will be a little bit longer, numbers 1 through 19 of the guided practice, and this goes on notebook 39, and that is on page 165. So make sure you're keeping up to date on your table of contents. Remember that we're going to have a quiz on Friday. Ooh. Use my eraser here. I have a quiz on Friday. And remember, I also talked about the extra credit opportunity. And the extra credit opportunity was to make a 8+ minute video of your own, and you can do your own video here. You would need to share it with me on YouTube. And if you're comfortable, you can share it with the whole public. Eventually, it might have the opportunity to be shared with the whole public class. If you want to just share it with me, my email is Mr. Johnstone FMS@gmail.com. So you're making an 8+ minute video on any topic in Chapter 4. The idea is these videos will be due next week. You're going to share them with me. I'll find good clips in there. You have them. Maybe the whole video is good, and I'd use them either to add on to my videos or maybe even in place of my videos. Either way, if you're doing it and doing a good job, you'll get the extra credit, and you'll just get more bonus points if I ended up using it because it's of really good quality. So Chapter 4 topics, any topic in Chapter 4, and these would be due on Wednesday of next week. So you'd have 1 week to do them. If you want to do them with a partner, you're more than welcome to do them with a partner, but a partner is one other person, no groups. Okay, so a partner or by yourself. I will see you all tomorrow.